Good evening, friends. We are joined by Major General Sudhakar Jee. Welcome.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mina, and again, great pleasure to connect with you back to back. I
yeah,
think this week only
yeah.
we have had another one. Thank
Yes.
you.
And I must, comment on a small, thing that our Prime Minister has done is that he landed at 7 a.m. after a 10-hour flight. At 9:45, he was at the Rashtrapati Bhavan at the oath-taking ceremony of the CJI of India. One can only admire his dedication, and this is the kind of leader India is following. So it's something we really admire, especially at his age. No, he doesn't take any rest. He just continues working. So it is such a pleasure to watch
Yeah, I'm a military man, a political.
it.
Then I can't help complimenting the great leader of the country and untiring and epitome of diligence and I would say sense of purpose. He wants to drive the nation to greater heights. That is all I can
Absolutely.
say as
Yeah.
a citizen of India. But as a
Yeah.
military man, I am debarred from making any comments about the Prime Minister.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now let's move on to the first piece of news. Now we talk about Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh has written afresh to India seeking former PM Sheikh Hasina's extradition for following the Bangladesh International Crimes Tribunal death sentence verdict against her for crimes against humanity. Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tawheed Hussain confirmed the fresh diplomatic communication with New Delhi but did not elaborate further. The last request was in December last year. So it looks like they're adamant to, put her to death, isn't it?
Meena, no, good evening. Firstly, thank you so much once again for having invited me to your channel. And I wish you all the very best and seeing your your commitment and passion for your channel and to make sure that right things reach out to your your audience. I am also very inspired, and whenever you approach me, I'm actually driven by equal, if not more, uh, quantum of passion to go into the details, do my research at my level. Now, coming to this question, I think Bangladesh interim government is wasting time unnecessarily because they have not done their homework. When I say this, all these are going to fall flat technically, legally, and going by the rules based international order. Why? Because my research and my assessment indicates something different. People need to know what is ICT. International Criminal Tribunal, they have to understand. First and foremost is that the ICT came into existence in The Hague in the year 1998, July 1998. It came into force in July 2002. Now, why it took around 3 4 years' time is that there is a provision for any international establishment of this nature, they have to be ratified by minimum 60 countries. Okay. So it came up in The Hague, that is in Netherlands. You have international uh, criminal court there, international court of justice there. And after liberation of Bangladesh, this your viewers have to understand. Why am I saying that this is waste of time? Okay, there is no need to extradite Sheikh Hasina, in my opinion. After so much of research, I have been joining the dots. Uh, 1971, the Bangladesh was liberated. After liberation of Bangladesh, the first government of Bangladesh, they made an act of parliament. It was enacted in 1973. As per 1973, the International Criminal Tribunal, what happens is that it is all jurisdiction based. Whichever country, for example, let me give the example of Rwanda. Let me also give the example of there are one more country where similar kind of things are taking place. If it comes to my mind, I'll share that with you. Rwanda is the one which is actually coming to my mind. They have also done a similar thing. It is jurisdiction based, it is all specific war related based. In case of Bangladesh, It is the agenda of the people of Bangladesh to take the victims, bring justice to the victims. Now, what are these victims? Take your mind back to 71 Liberation War. In that, more than 3 million people were killed. More than 250,000 women were raped. Now, who did all this? Who perpetrated all this? These are the Pakistani criminals and Bangladeshi conspirators or the collaborators. So it is the national aim, the objective. Now, who brought independence or the birth of Bangladesh? It is the Awami League. Take your mind back, Mujibur Rahman was the prime minister, and that the whole liberation war actually took place because Pakistan did not want Mujibur Rahman, despite the majority, thumping majority he had won in the election. That's how he got delayed. There was no recognition from the West Pakistan. So, the purpose is to be understood. It has been a pending agenda or election pledge of Awami League for several years. And in the year, this was in fact, I would say, it was established in Bangladesh as International Tribunal in the year 2010 under the mandate of ICT Act of 1973, and it was updated in 2009. Now, what is this updation? Updation in 2009 was to bring it to modernize the clauses and the parameters in that, and to bring it to the international standard, because in between 2002 and 2009 there are many things which have happened. So before they took these people to task, they wanted to bring it to the international standard. The next thing that I want to also highlight is that between 2010, and who brought it? Sheikh Hasina. She is the prime minister. So basically, it is a leader, it is a party in a democracy which is authorized by the parliament. You see, there has to be a legislature, there are executives to support them. The legislature has to, in form of a law, translate this particular need into an enacted law. So in the parliament, this was enacted and it came into being. The ICT is still ongoing, and those convicted after extensive trials and their respective sentences have been implemented. And but the most important thing that I wish to highlight in this is that after the 5th of August 2024, when Sheikh Hasina was ousted, she people say she fled, but I would say she left Bangladesh, came to India, and she's on exile. What Yunus or the interim government that he has done is that firstly he has removed all the judges. All senior judges have been removed, regardless of their past affiliation, meritocracy, and other things. Who has he put there? He has put the judges who are known to him or who are affiliated to Jamaati Islam. Now, Jamaati Islam has to be understood that, yes, somebody is remarking, she's still the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Yes, you're right, I agree with you. Now, the Jamaati Islam judges, mind you, in my research in the evening today, I came across a name, Muhammad Tajul Islam. Is the principal defendant of Jamaat leaders facing accusations of war crimes in 1971 war as ICT's chief prosecutor. A man who's facing accusations. He is being made as a chief prosecutor. Have you ever heard about this? Therefore, all senior judges, including those with ICT, they have been forced to resign. One. Number two, the new judges appointed, they are closely affiliated with Jamaati Islami. Number three, there is no amendment. When a particular establishment which is linked to an international establishment for court of law or criminal justice, when you enact as per the area jurisdiction, any amendment, any modification has to have a parliamentary approval, or the constitution, that particular clause has to be approved. Now, there is no parliament in Bangladesh from 5th of August 2019 or 2024. So, how can you? So, that's why I'm saying it is illegal, it is untenable, and it will not stand the scrutiny of law. Next point that comes to my mind is the United Nations Human Rights Office in Geneva. They were contacted, and it is led by Volker Turk. Now, what Yunus, the biggest blunder that Yunus has done is he has given a defined timeline from July 15 to August 5, 2024. Any kind of mayhem, perpetration of crime, people have been killed. He's narrowed down the objective to such a date that during this period, the chief or the head of the United Nations Human Rights Office in Geneva, Mr. Volker Turk, when he was pressurized, he gave the reports, which is very interesting. I wish to share this. And he brought it out that unequivocally, without any incoms, any restrictions, he has said that all these activities between 15th July till 5th of August, they are a revenge abuses targeting police, awami, and media, and abuses against members of distinct religious and indigenous groups. And very interestingly, he also said that most of which took place after 5th of August. After 5th of August 2024, after Sheikh Hasina had left. He has brought it out to 2000. And out of, he has also brought out, I'm given to understand, some of the open sources have indicated that out of a total of 639 police stations across Bangladesh, more than 450 police stations have been destroyed or damaged. These are the things which have come from the United Nation, the Human Rights Office. So and also you need to keep in mind another thing. You see, the another thing that I wish to highlight is that the Article 6 of the extradition treaty between India and Bangladesh, it highlights another very important thing, that the extradition may be refused if the offense of which it is requested is an offense of a political character. Okay, so this is very interesting. Now, also, if you take the views of independent organizations, non-governmental organizations like, let's say, Amnesty International, or the UN Office of High Commissioner for the Human Rights, and such like organizations, they have raised questions about the judgment, the specifics of the judgment. You see, it is fine. It is fine to try her. In the worst case scenario, even if it is given some sanctity of law and court of investigation or prosecution, still the judgment is very, very critical. This needs to come under scrutiny. What are they highlighted? The international human rights NGOs such as Human Rights Watch, they have given out many points, but one of the points which actually caught my attention is no one should be extradited if they would face a trial abroad that does not meet international fair trial standards and could result in the death penalty. So what do you expect me to respond in your question? My response to
Absolutely.
your question is the
Yeah.
government of India do well, remain quiet, and say, yes, we have taken note, like the way they have replied. They are replying in a very mature manner. And in that, they have also said that taken note of so and so, and thereafter remain quiet. At no circumstances, I strongly recommend that Sheikh Hasina is to be extradited to Bangladesh after having shared these inputs with you. And there are many more because of time is very less. I don't want to actually go too much. In that they say there are more than 400 Awami members who have been killed. Nobody is talking about this. And it is a retaliatory violence against the Awami members after August 5, 2024. Any accusation, particularly when something is coming under the death penalty, has to be afforded an opportunity for cross examination. And has Sheikh Hasina been given that opportunity? No. So, under these circumstances, you tell me, is it legal? Is it technically valid? Is it tenable? I do not recommend Government of India to budge under pressure
Yeah.
and dig its heel and take it now or never. When I say now or never, here is a tall tower or towering personality in our. I am not calling Bangladesh as a backyard, nor am I saying that it is actually part and parcel of India. The time has come wherein India has to dig in its heel. Maybe we have to derive some lessons with regard to the technical and the legal sovereignty of Bangladesh and drawing parallels with what Putin has done for Georgia, for Crimea, for Ukraine, because anything that happens in Bangladesh has got a direct and indirect bearing with the national security of India, particularly Siliguri corridor being what it is, and all our northeastern states, out of eight, seven of them are that side, they are likely to be choked, they are likely to be cut off. But if push comes to shove, if there is a trigger given by Bangladesh, this time the doctrine of Indian army or India as a country had to change with regard to the neighborhood first. When I say doctrine, what it means that in the history of India, after independence, never, not even once, even as a civilization, India has never practiced the art of capturing and holding on to a piece of ground. This is not the philosophy. The philosophy is that our neighbor is part of us. We always follow the dictum of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam: one earth, one family, and one objective of living happily through diplomacy and dialogue. So, therefore, if that stage and that status comes, there is no harm in changing the doctrine of India. This time, it is now or never when I say it is not going to be a backyard, it is not going to be you don't have to define. There are certain things which have to be done to make the ensure the security and the safety of the people guaranteed as far as the Indian citizens are concerned. So, therefore, there are no compromises if things like this are going beyond it. What do I mean? Do I mean that it should be captured? I'm not saying that. I'm saying Yunus, whatever drama and rhetorics he's resorting to, that must stop. It's about time India has to draw the clear red lines. They have to be told. I have heard the interview of NSA being interviewed by somebody when he had come to Delhi for a recent meeting. He's talking all trash. There is also a gentleman who's talking. There is somebody from Bangladesh, I think, another interview that came to me. I have heard it. These people, they don't know what the reality is. It's about time that the leverages of India, without doing anything, must be explained to them, whether it is river or the barrages that we have or the electricity dependency. Mind you, the electricity expenditure of Bangladesh, despite all restrictions and the drama taking place, has gone up, multiplied several times in 2025. Their dependency on our ports, their dependency on our air terminals, their dependency, they're buying electricity from Bhutan and Nepal. They have to pass through India. We don't charge them the transportation or the transit charges. They are free of cost. There are many ways to penalize and bring Bangladesh to knees, but that is going to put into a negative spiral, which we do not want. Our magnanimity should never be taken for granted, and it's about time the similar simple expressions must be used to explain our policy and philosophy that if push comes to shove, we are capable to teach Bangladesh and particularly Yunus a lesson. Instead of extraditing Sheikh Hasina back to Bangladesh, I think it's about time that we need to consider if at all there is an option in the environment, in the international rules-based order, this gentleman, Mr. Yunus, should be extradited to India and he should be hanged, as far as I'm concerned. Back to you, please.
Yeah. So, talking about the next point, Major General, we're talking about the Jamia Ulema e Hind president Arshad Madani, who has courted controversy over his remarks in connection with the ongoing probe into the Delhi blast. Madani has alleged discrimination against Muslims in the country, citing the Al Falah University and politician Azam Khan as examples. His remarks drew sharp reactions, with the BJP accusing Madani of looting Muslims and not working for the community's progress. Your comments on this,
Meena, thank
Major Jet?
you. It's a question which is loaded with issue related to national security, also politically loaded. As a matter of principle, being a military man, I avoid issues which are political in nature, and we have been trained that way to remain apolitical. But being a citizen, even after retirement, I must caution our people. In matters of national security, there is religion has got no bearing. Whether you are a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or a Jain or Buddhist or Sikh or anything, it does not look at any religion. It doesn't see a Hindu or Muslim. A bullet doesn't identify between Hindu and Muslim. It is the safety and security and stability for the nation that must actually be the central paradigm which should decide. I am actually afraid, I don't want to comment. He's a very respected intellectual, in fact. He's an intellectual person. If you go into his the biodata and all, I'm really shocked and surprised. How is he making a comment like this? But since he said, he's made a remark. He is of a very senior position. My only sincere suggestion to people who matter is to take everything as an input. Check it. Examine the thing. Okay, if there is any element of truth in that, try and improve upon it. See the percentage of Muslims, if at all there is a issue on that. I think it has gone up to 15% now of the total population. If I don't know if there is a pro rata share religion wise of vice chancellor, he's made a point of vice chancellor. I checked, I googled up, I found there are 2 out of 78 are in central universities as vice chancellors. State universities there are many. So I disagree, but if there is a point which he wants to convey or extend, there is a way to convey, not to mix up and divert by divisive kind of policies, bringing in religion into national security. That is very, very dangerous. In fact, he made a point that the Muslims are being downplayed. Sorry, I don't want to, as a military man, talk about the religion. But when I looked up, when I googled up, I found, should I share if you allow me?
Yeah, please.
There are people who, you see, they are being pushed down, they are not being looked after. And just see what I have googled up and found. This is very interesting. Much against my principles of talking anything about the religion. India has a number of prominent Muslim personalities who have held or currently hold high positions across various fields, including administration, politics, science, armed forces, medicine, business, army. You know, thereafter it goes on. You see, administration and politics. Dr. Zakir Hussain served as the third president of India 1967 to 69 and was the first Muslim to hold the office. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad served as the fifth president of India 74 to 77. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, a prominent freedom fighter, scholar, India's first Minister of Education. Muhammad Hidayatullah served as the 11th Chief Justice of India and also as the acting President and Vice President of India. Hamid Ansari, a distinguished diplomat and academic who served as the 12th Vice President of India for 2 consecutive terms, 2007-2017. Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, a retired Indian Administrative Service officer who became the 17th Chief Election Commissioner of India, the first Muslim to hold this office. Syed Akbaruddin, a veteran diplomat who served as India's permanent representative to the United Nations. Nazma Heptullah, we all know, a prominent politician who has served as a union minister and governor, and if I respect my memory, she was also vice president for twice, if I'm not wrong, twice or once at least. Salman Khurshid, a politician, lawyer, author who has held various ministerial positions, including Minister for External Affairs. Asauddin Owaisi, a prominent politician and member of, who doesn't know him? Science and Technology. Dr. Abdul Kalam, known as the Missile Man of India, he was a renowned aerospace scientist who served as the 11th President of India. Dr. Salim Ali, Yusuf Khwaja Hamid, Dr. Siddiqui, Qamar Rahman. Come to Armed Forces, Air Chief Marshal Idris Hassan Latif, the first Muslim to serve as the Chief of Air Staff of Indian Air Force. Brigadier
Yeah,
Muhammad Usman, Mahavir Chakra, and likewise doctors.
yeah,
I've got a huge list running into
yeah,
almost 500
absolutely.
people. So to say that Muslims are not being looked after, they are being neglected. I think India is the only country which should take pride in saying that here is a country which gives more importance, more weightage to the minorities than the majority. I don't want to bring in these issues of majority and minority, being a military man. We have been trained otherwise. But if an issue like this is being raised and mixed up with national security, I think I'm convinced, and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong by drawing a line in between, distinction between that in matters of national security, al-Falah or no al-Falah.
Yeah,
Whoever is responsible and accountable, he must be held accountable and taken. Justice must be meted out People must be taken to task. Only then the nation will be safe and secure.
Absolutely. So, moving on to the next piece of news. Now we're talking about a new video of the crash of the ill fated Indian Air Force Tejas fighter jet in Dubai, which provides a crystal clear view of the final moments of the pilot. As per the clip posted by WL TAN's aviation videos, the pilot wing commander Naman Sayal likely attempted to eject at the last moment, but he neither had the time nor the elevation as the jet slammed into the ground. Now, can we rule out sabotage?
Mina, such kind of questions coming. Firstly, let me extend uh, condolences for the sad demise, for the mishap. May his soul rest in peace. It's a very unfortunate accident which has taken place. At the moment, I'm saying accident, but that doesn't mean I rule out or discount the question which you are asking. In every accident that takes place in today's environment, one must always, like in your channel only, I made a point last time, in armed forces, we are taught respect all, suspect all, and inspect all. Okay. So you should not discard or discount the point or the option of sabotage. In international environment, look at the way how misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation was undertaken by Pakistan. They were trying to, push in the data with regard to the Rafale. So many Rafales have come down. I was outside the country. I know I have come across such people overseas. Majority of whom had got swayed by what Pakistan was saying. 5 Rafales have come down, 7 have come down. Rafale is one of the aircrafts, the state of the art platforms, which has got a system of decoys. You see, whenever it is attacked by oncoming missile or aircrafts or by firing, it has got a system to create a shape around, create a silhouette or different image, present and project as if that is the aircraft. So they are the ones which have been hit. What more do you require when Chief of the Air Staff has come twice or thrice? The National Security Advisor in one of the seminars in Chennai, he has made a point that not even a glass pane can anyone bring out if a glass pane in India has been shattered. So when he's taking going down to the level of a glass pane, how can a Rafale be? So that brings me to the point is that anything can happen in an international platform like this. When there is a competition, there is a razor edge on which the pilot is actually flying. He has to take decisions on split second. These kind of air shows at the global level are basically, there is a feeling also that you should not be, you know, you should not be ignored. There is a competition within. One is trying to put up its best effort, and in doing so, he has to take a very, very split second decision. That is not in anybody's hand. It could be a failure of the machine, it could be failure, human failure, it could also be a sabotage. It cannot be ruled out. So let's wait and watch. Let the investigation go on. Let them come out with the finding. Let trust our people. They are the ones who are doing it. It's a very serious thing. And let me tell you, there is, you take the example of F-16, take the example of F-35, take the example of what do you call the Russian aircraft, take the example of MiG series, MiG-21, MiG-29, or take the example of even France, take the example of F-22. There is no aircraft which has escaped the milestone of a disaster or an accident. Everyone, it is, in fact, I would compliment our India's concept of make in India. You see, if, the first one we had was last year, I think March 24, and the second one is this. In the complete span of its entire spectrum of conception and development and induction into the system, in 80s, that time I was a cadet, I just passed out. Well, back in 80s I got commissioned. That time we started hearing about the aircraft, and this aircraft has taken a long time to actually come up to the present level. It was inducted sometime in 2016, if I'm not wrong, and in 2024 we had the first mishap. and the second one is this. So when you make a comparative statistics, compare with all the aircrafts I have given you, whether it is France or Russia or America or UK or any country, you find that Tejas is standing out loud and clearly. Mishaps will take place, accidents will. Not that I'm feeling happy about the loss of life, but what I'm trying to say, we need to feel proud and try to project ourselves as the future of the global order when it comes to make in India. This is the best foot forward that we can project, and there is nothing better than this. And our pilots are doing a commendable job. Our Indian armed forces, they are second to none. They are the best. They have proven it in Operation Sindoor. This is just one of the accidents. Let's wait and see if it is actually a sabotage, and give the due to the investigation team. Let them come out with the truth.
In fact, Major General, an American had also remarked that after the crash, the air show should not have continued. They should have stopped it there and then. So that was also someone had made that kind of remark, which I think was quite right. So
Well, Meena, that's a good point you were saying. In fact, you see, in armed forces, we don't have borders. When we fight, yes, border is there. But in such kind of disasters and losses and accidents, there is a Pakistani Air Force officer who's given a statement. He has decried and denounced and also criticized his own Pakistani fellow men and colleagues who are casting aspersion, making comments, and criticizing at the loss, that it is not that easy. It can happen to anyone. It's a loss of life. There is the value system that the armed forces are living up to. There is an American, you are right, there is an American pilot who said there are no borders as far as the flyers are concerned. Combat, this is a combat. It is an aircraft which is flying at a great speed. And try to demonstrate, it is for not only for the market, it is the capability. The same aircraft has proven its capability and the potential of giving a bloody nose to the enemy, that is Pakistan, in Operation Sindoor.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter if one setback is taking place. Let's try and find out what are the errors. Let's make amends, and we should take this as a pillar of success, not as a pillar of failure.
Yeah. So Ned is saying Russians dedicated their show to our pilot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Acha, you have Russian listeners also. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the solidarity. Very kind of you.
Also, Major General, it's sad that the father of the pilot, actually was scrolling on YouTube when he saw this mishap. It's a very tragic
It's a
end
tragic thing.
because
No,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
tragic thing. I can correlate when I was climbing up for Operation Vijay, and after my Siachen tenure, just at the, I had written a letter to my sister that be prepared. So it's a very poignant thing. Only soldiers can understand, not everyone. And there are certain things. You see, Indian Army is the only organization in the world which actually, pledges, dedicates itself, you see, unto the death for national security. You don't have CRPF, BSF, IAS. I'm not trying to draw distinction. We have been trained. We take our oath for the sake of national security. We have been committed to sacrifice our life. You can sacrifice. There is a saying that you can sacrifice um, no, everything for truth, but not truth for everything. It is something like this. Nation comes first, and that is why I number of channels I have been saying, every soldier, every shopkeeper, every driver, newspaper vendor, or washerman, or who a plumber or electrician, he must look at everything as part of the nation. Is coming first, reaching on time, doing the job perfectly. All of us collectively, we need to keep our acts together, march ahead. Only then our nation can go ahead to reach a target of 30 trillion US dollar economy by 2047, and our per capita, which is presently $2,800 per capita, I'm talking about nominal terms. We are looking at a target of 14,000 to 20,000 US dollar by 2047, or earlier than that. It's not that easy. All the forces in the world are after India. सोने के चिड़िया अभी उनको काफी झटका दे रहा है। सो वो
Hmm.
कह रहे हैं कि हिंदुस्तान को आगे नहीं जाने देंगे। कम वॉट में विल स्टॉप हिंदुस्तान, बट दे आर माइंडफुल ऑफ द फैक्ट द डे वी क्रॉस, टुडे वी आर 4.19 trillion US dollar GDP economy. The day we reach 5, there is nothing stopping us. You go by
Absolutely.
the statistics.
Yeah.
Five, more the money, faster is the multiplication. From 5 trillion, it will become 7 trillion by 2028 or 2000, latest by 2030. By 2035, will be between 10 to 15 trillion US dollar economy. Until then, just hang fire. Our
Yeah.
dependency on China or any other country is going to be there. We are not self sufficient in many things. Our concept of self reliance and make in India cannot take off unless we actually calibrate our response and um, uh, gain the maximum mileage from these countries, be it USA, be it China, be it any country for that matter. Let's follow the principle which our Ministry of External Affairs and our Prime Minister is actually extending. There's a lot of meaning and depth behind this. You know, multiple alignment is the answer. Multilateralism is the answer. We have to have one-on-one kind of relationship. The trade FTA, free trade agreement, is one of the actually shining examples of India's philosophy of maintaining strategic autonomy. Don't buckle under pressure. America is afraid that without India they are nothing. But we should also not be afraid. We should be concerned that here is a superpower which is actually going down the drain. Look at the number of U-turns that Trump has made. I admire this man, but I actually extend all the sympathies and empathy for him because people are not allowing him to achieve the objective with which he came up in the elections
Yeah.
or he campaigned for.
Yeah. Moving on to the next piece of news. Now we're talking about Sindh. And the Sindh region may not be with India today, but borders can change and the region may return home to India. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said at an event that the Sindh province, the area near the Indus River, went to Pakistan following partition in 47, and the Sindhi people who lived in that region came to India. So this is something worth listening to, isn't it?
No, it will actually excite a lot of people in India. I know that it's a kind of an emotional game being played, not for Indians. It is to tell Pakistan that if you don't behave, it is not difficult for India to go in and capture. Today, somebody sent me, somebody very senior in the hierarchy, he sent me one of the army commanders who was giving a press briefing on the banks of Ganges. And they were trying out different concepts. One, I think, press reporter asked him, "Why are you doing it? You belong to so and so Western sector." So he gave the example ki when this time our doctrine has undergone change from cold start doctrine to cold strike doctrine. Cold start means you start and go in. But now the doctrine of India has changed. From cold start, you go into the enemy territory, you capture the land. He's clarifying, amplifying the issue that until you capture the land, because Pakistan doesn't believe that you are capturing all the conflicts it has fought against India, it keeps on claiming that 47, 48, it won the war. 65, it won the war. 71, despite having handed over 93,000 PWs on a platter, um, they still claim that they won the war. Kargil war, they won the war. Okay, so in Pahalgam thing, Operation Sindoor, they won it again. So every time they will keep playing this mind game. You were saying he's playing mind game with
Yeah.
Pakistan. Yes, you
Yeah.
are right. This is not a mind game. Pakistan, firstly, it is not a country. You play mind game with a person or a country which has got a system in place, a nation. Pakistan has gone in for 25th. I was giving a podcast today to one of the international agency. I said 25 bailouts. Because no, 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 sir, 26 bailouts. I didn't know the 26th bailout is also been given by the IMF. Here is a country, it's into constitutional crisis, it is into economic crisis, It is into a political crisis. It doesn't have a dispensation which is elected by the people. They are selected, they are nominated. The elected man is sitting behind the bars. Imran Khan, I only hope and pray that he survives, because these people are all out to kill him, they poison him. Okay. And judiciary is totally gone. It is polarized. Okay. So it doesn't have any vital parameter of a democracy worth its name in the rules based international order. I don't want to say too many things, but Pakistan is Pakistan, so therefore it doesn't have a mind. The day Pakistan has a mind, you play mind game with the Pakistan. Okay. When I
Yeah,
say mind, because they don't have a mind, it is Hillary Clinton, when she came in 2013, told the Pakistanis that don't ever think that the snakes that you nurture in your backyard will continue to bite the neighbor only. The time has come, the same snakes, you see, same Taliban which they had created. And I still remember Imran Khan, he kept on beating his chest that strategic depth. Here are the Talibans going into Afghanistan. They will change the complete profile and the scenario of Pakistan. Pakistan will turn into a superpower in the South Asia. Now the superpower is coming into being. 27th Amendment in the Constitution is going to put Munir Saab into a very terrible situation. They have to give how many? If not 50,000, 25,000 to Saudi Arabia troops. They have to give equal number, if not more, to Gaza Strip for the International Stabilization Force. They have a problem along the Durand line. They have created the problem along the eastern border, 3,300 kilometers with India. We have no problems. India doesn't create. India believes in diplomacy and dialogue. India believes in countries, should not resort to transborder terrorism. India believes in peace and normalcy. India believes in economy. India believes in high-end objective of 30 trillion US dollar economy, socio-economic development of the people, education, health, water. That is what has happened in past so many years. I would say 2014 till now. Kindly, my colleagues may take me that I am from BJP. No, for me, I am not from BJP nor from Congress. I have only one party, national interest. The nation must progress. I don't want India to have another Pahalgam.
yeah,
We need to actually nip the bud on the soil of Pakistan or any adversary, whether it is Turkey or Bangladesh or China or any country.
yeah,
So that is all I have to say. And Sindh province that you are talking of, it has got a border of almost about 530, 550 kilometers with India. The major percentage of Hindus in Pakistan are here, almost about 6.7 or close to 7%. They have around 91% of Muslims in this state. We need to understand, way back in 1970, there is a gentleman by the name, again, if I respect my memory, uh, Syed, GM Syed, SYED, in 1970. He initiated, because in Pakistan, except for Punjab, all other provinces are getting discriminated. So he initiated the first thought process of independence. Okay, and after that, they started increasing the demand for creation of a sovereign Sindhi state, and it gained traction because 1971 was the liberation of Bangladesh, and after liberation of Bangladesh, sometime in 72, 73, it gained a lot of momentum. And after it gained the momentum, there are two groups, including student bodies and the political parties. They had SLA. SLA is Hindustan Liberation Army, and they have another outfit called as SRA. SRA is uh, Hindustan Revolution Army. So these two groups, they came together, and there are parties and student organizations. They are also demanding for independence. Population is not much, around I think after Punjab, this is the province which has got largest, around 5.6 crore or something like that. And the thing that I want to highlight is we need to, India is doing a very brilliant thing. You see, this is what I have been saying, that information war has to have a structured kind of approach. It has to have a calibrated approach. It has to be proactive. The more you keep listening, more you allow people to come and slap you see, more Pahalgams will keep taking place. You need to be on the ahead of the loop, which our Honorable Defense Minister has done. He's told people that Hindustan once upon a time used to be part of India. Indian philosophy is taking the example of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's book and said that once upon a time, the purity of Sindhu Nadi, India and Sindhu, they cannot be alienated. It is part and parcel. It may not be today part of India, but it doesn't take too much of time to bring it back to the India. Borders can change. He's made these kind of statements. It's a very powerful articulation. And I would say that now or never, Pakistan doesn't deserve to exist, in my opinion. I don't say I'm an intellectual, but I read a lot, I write a lot, I speak a lot. This is a country which is being taken advantage of, being exploited by, unfortunately, by superpowers like USA. There's a big game going on. China is trying to take advantage, and in the bargain, India is suffering. So, therefore, we need to defend ourselves. The best way to defend is all the five provinces should be correctly identified. Sindhustan, we need to claim, and also tell people that Sindhustan or Sindh province has got a border. It has got a border with Balochistan. It has got
Yeah,
Karachi with a port. Karachi port, without Karachi port, Pakistan cannot exist. All its export and import takes place from Karachi. Karachi is around 500 kilometers from the nearest port, it is a Mangla port. And like it happened in 71, in Operation Sindoor, we are almost there to knock it off. It is a magnanimity that we didn't. The naval forces of Indian armed forces did not apply any kind of resource against the enemy. We are ready. It was to be knocked off at any time. So next time, whether it is Karachi or Sir Creek or the major part of Hindustan, I think we need to take advantage of the fault line, and our Honorable Defense Minister has given the pointer. And also keep in mind, there are major issues. Don't forget about the six canals which Pakistan government has decided to extend from Indus River. Where are the canals flowing into? The canals are flowing into Cholistan. Cholistan is there in southern Punjab. They are flowing into Bahawalnagar, Bahawalpur, Punjab, all deserted portion of Punjab, southern Punjab. They want to irrigate. Their basic aim is not to look after Hindustan or Sindh province. So the Punjabization has taken place. There is a hegemony of Punjabis inside Hindustan itself, and therefore India has chosen its objective very intelligently. And in one of my podcasts, I was not in India during Operation Sindoor. Arnab Goswami in Republic had taken my interview. I had indirectly hinted India must focus on Sir Creek area and Sindh. I'm glad, I'm very proud that Indians are thinking, they have understood what I indicated. Not that I'm saying I'm the one who actually triggered, but I, in my own way, in my humble way, I have been contributing to the national security so that we don't have Pelgam too. Back to you,
yeah,
please.
yeah. In fact, Balochistan is also asking for liberation, and they are also, waiting. So let's see how it turns out. And moving on to the next piece of news, Major General, India's defense industry is drawing attention across continents as its missiles, rockets, and battlefield systems move onto the procurement plans of foreign militaries. Export numbers highlight this surge, with the defense sales touching rupees 21,083 crore in FY 2023-24, a jump of 32.5% from the previous years. Now, buyers now come from more than 85 countries, and the interests reveal a growing belief that India's military technology offers reliability, performance, and value. BrahMos, Pinaka, and Akash are global bestsellers.
I must compliment you, Meena, for having picked up a very, very viable, very important, and relevant topic. And you have taken the example of 2023. I have been lecturing whether I was in California or elsewhere in Greece or Europe or East Asia or wherever I was. I have been talking about this. You see, you you start. I'm not decrying any country because any party, all parties are good as long as the country is developing. Okay. Now let's take our mind back to 2014. Now in 2014, what was the defense export of India? It was just about 1,000 crore, less than 1,000 crore. Sorry, I am also watching time. I know I have gone beyond the timeline. Do forgive me.
No, no,
You
no.
have
Please go ahead. Very
quote.
interesting.
You see, 1,000 crores in 2000, less than 1,000. It was 900 some crores in 2014. What happened in 2023-24? You've given out it is 21,083 crores of rupees. Okay, that 32 odd percent jump that we have made. In 2024-25, the amount has gone up to 23,622 crores. There is an increase from previous year by 12.04%. This we have to be mindful of. This is a big jump for a country like India where we don't have ecosystem. Let me also share one thing. The time doesn't allow. In 2014, when again, I am not BJP or Congress, I'm not. The present dispensation, it started a concept of Make in India. And Make in India, the primary objective was to give a boost to the manufacturing. Because, that economic pie diagram, importantly, you have three segments. One is services sector, one is agriculture, the third one is manufacturing or industry. Okay. A country is deemed to progress and cater for all its issues like unemployment or all, provided you generate employment. Employment can be generated only in places like manufacturing. That time, the manufacturing was 16.7%, 13-14. Okay. So the target selected in 2014 was by 2020, no matter what happens and what comes our way, we have to reach a target of 25% by 2020. Today we are in 2025. We are claiming that we are the second largest exporter of mobiles. We are also claiming that our defense industry, defense export is also jumping. But do you know, I'm not casting aspersion against anyone. I'm trying to highlight one aspect. Do you know that in not 2020, in 2025, our manufacturing, instead of going up from 16.7, has gone down to 15.9%? So what does it indicate? The agriculture, which was earlier at 44%, has gone up to 46%. You're getting the point. So therefore, ours is not like, China was 62% way back in 1992 and all. It has come down to 27, 22%. USA is 2%. Germany is 1% of the dependence on the agriculture. Ours is not that. We are 46, close to 44 to 46%. What am I trying to indicate? Despite best of efforts, our manufacturing is not picking up. There is something which is lacking. And that something has to be identified. Our MSME has to be given due importance. And also, let me tell you one thing, that while countries' role in the global defense manufacturing is increasing, and also, let me tell you, India recorded its highest ever defense production of 1.54 lakh crores of rupees in financial year 24-25. Indigenous defense production has hit a record of 1,24,434 crores in 23-24. Like you have brought out, there has been a surge from 46,429 crores in 14-15 by about 174%. There are 16,000 MSMEs which have emerged as the game changers, strengthening indigenous defense capability. There are 788 industrial licenses issued. Out of this, 462 companies have been issued. Also, there are long term perspective plans. As on today, we have 12 independent corridors, manufacturing corridors. India is planning to make it 26 independent corridors by 2030 by spending 28,600 crores of investment. We are looking at today, we are almost close to 853 odd billion dollars of export. Okay, we are looking at a target of 2 trillion US dollar export by 2030. It can happen provided we look at the infrastructure segment also. Let me give you a comparative figure. India as on today has got 13 major harbors, China has got 34. We have 199 minor harbors, China has got 2000. India's capacity as on today, as far as the shipyard capability is concerned, we have got 20.03 MEU. China has got 270 MEU. Ships, we have got 1,500 ships available today. In the world order, there are 1,20,000 ships. Our dependence on the cargo transportation is 5% as far as India is concerned, 95% we hire it from outside. Therefore, by 2030, we need to actually enhance. The India government has actually selected a target of adding on another 1,000 ships. There are shipyards in India, 27 of them. In China, there are 170 shipyards. So, likewise, India is going a big way. There are very high end objectives. It is not only defense production that we are looking at. There are many other issues which the present dispensation has correctly identified and pushing ahead with major projects which are not known to the common public. So, once you go into the detail, these things will actually throw up lots of issues which the government is taking. It is not roti kapda makan alone, or it is not pani bijli sadak alone. It is not the digital platform or the IT and the social this thing. India has gone absolutely all guns blazing all the way, everywhere. And it is talking of artificial intelligence. I was in Sunnyvale. People started saying robotics, India is number one. I said, how can India be number one? I have gone around all over India. I have not seen robotics. So you go back to India and see. When I started going back, I came to Bangalore and saw, yes, we are miles ahead. Our own people don't know in robotics. We are contestable. We are number one. Drones. Our own people have started manufacturing drones. We are dependent on countries like Turkey. Pakistan it had left India 10 years behind. Today we have started. We can claim that we have started overtaking Pakistan. So it is actually making very very significant stride in almost everything, and that is all I have to say. I've taken too much of time. I'll close here, please.
Not at all. Very interesting, Major General. Talking to you, and a lot of information that is coming, which will, not only inform our viewers but also educate us, because a lot of the things we do not know, and you've been explaining it brilliantly. So, thank you so much for this, Major General, and good night, and Jai Hind.
Thank you.